Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Today I'm going to be taking a look at some lower cap coins that are starting to show positive price movement. Now, these are all extremely risky. It's not financial advice. This is just some coins that I've talked about previously within the past few days on the channel that are starting to gain some serious traction in different narratives. Probably around 3 or 4 coins I'm going to be looking at in total. The first coin, it is the retirement token with the ticker 42069K. It is a branch off of the stock to meme narrative within the idea of this being the meme version of the 401k. There are many different retirement tokens, but there's really no crazy high market cap retirement coin, where you invest into a coin that says retire and then it actually goes to $1 billion or whatever. That's really never happened, at least not that I can remember. And you can see we've got some pretty big green candles, at least recently, on the single day chart. You look at the 4 hour chart, you can see this coin did boom up to around 200k. I started talking about this coin when it was around 60, somewhere around here, like 60, 65k, and it's done around a 2.5, 3x, or maybe like a 4x since then. But I really think this is an interesting one. And you look at the history of this coin, obviously, it hasn't been this high since early February, and it did have an all-time high of around 3.5, 3.6 million. This coin also is on CoinGecko, which is a very big thing. And I know they're working hard to try and get the coin listed into the stock to meme category, the official category on CoinGecko. But with this coin being on CoinGecko, I mean, that takes or costs around $3,000 to get it on there. So that's going to get it more publicity if the coin continues to do well. And I would say if you do not own this coin, you need to be careful about gaining an entry, because you look at this and the time to really buy this coin, and I'm not trying to be bearish on this, I'm saying just to be careful. The time to really buy the coin when it was during the accumulation phase. Now it's starting to pump. You can say, well, because it's more alive, we could see this coin doing some huge things. I'm just saying be careful when you get an initial investment. Now, I've bought this coin on the way up, and I plan on holding long term. I originally first saw this coin because it was being shilled by a few different people on X, and certainly it needs development. It needs a bigger team. They need to build it up very, hopefully, in an organic way. I've seen other teams do this to where the coin will gain traction. There'll be more and more people just organically, like Anons, entering the project randomly and shilling it on X. The shilling on X is so important when it comes to a coin like this, and the strategy of it is to shill it in a way that's in relation to SPX 6900. The coin potentially is going to go to 30 or 40 billion dollars this cycle. Nasdaq 420, it's starting to catch on. You've also got another coin I'm going to be talking about, Dow Jones 6900, the big three indexes, and you've got the 401k meme retirement token variant with a beautiful ticker. You've got the 42069K, the combination of Nasdaq and SPX. Nasdaq 420, SPX 6900, 42069K to go along with the 401k narrative. There's a lot of stuff colliding here, and this is a coin that is alive. It does have a very small team, and there's going to be a lot of volatility to its price because you look at it, it's kind of broken out of its accumulation zone. So it's on Solana, and you know what? I'm not huge on coins on Solana. This is one of the only, I think this is the only coin right now on Solana that I own. It's just kind of the way it worked out with my portfolio. I used to own other coins mainly for trades, but this is one to where you look at its Twitter, they are shilling this coin. And you can see, I mean, they're doing spaces. They're talking about 100x coins. They're trying to grind right now. They are trying to grind, and we'll see if it ends up working out for them. Be cautious about it, but you can see the narrative. And when I see narratives, that intrigues me. I have to believe in the narrative of the coin, and so I see something there, and they're going to have to keep working. There's thousands and thousands of coins that come onto Solana every single day. It's attention. You need the attention. It's a very lot of competition when it comes to that. But there is that one. The next one we're going to be looking at, this is Dow Jones 6900. So this is another coin very similar to the last one. This one came out earlier than the retirement token. This one came out in October of 2024. It's been out for around 10 months, and recently it is booming higher. And they did rebrand this coin to the blue logo, which I do like. Originally, I'm not a big fan of rebrands. I think this rebrand worked out well. You do have to be careful about entries into this coin. It was just recently at around 50k, so it's done around an 8x already. There's a lot of holders that are up around 8x. And really, this is one, its all-time high is only around 900K, so it's nothing crazy. That's only about a 3 or 4x to get back to its all-time high. The thought process is if SPX booms, NASDAQ 420 will likely boom really high, and then you'll potentially get the third index, Dow Jones 6900. I believe they've completely rebranded this. Yeah, you can see the Dow Jones 6900. It's now, this is the official logo. The Dow logo is really blue, so that's why they changed it like this. And it's an interesting one. This one is on Ethereum. It's got a very similar age as the NASDAQ 420. Again, you're looking at the three major indexes, S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the NASDAQ 100. SPX is already a narrative. It's already pumped. It's going to continue. It's probably going to go over 2 billion within the coming days. You have the NASDAQ at around 9 or 10 million right now. It's already done a 7 or 8x. And now you've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average. If NASDAQ 420 catapults and teleports to 100 million, this is the next narrative play off of that in the Ethereum ecosystem. There is the Dow G coin on Solana that's being pushed by a lot of influencers. This is the one on Ethereum. The Dow G coin's at around 24 or 25 million last time I checked. This one's only at 286K. They need more support in terms of the CTO team and all of that, and hopefully that comes. But there is the narrative behind it. We can understand the idea of it. It's an interesting one to look at. And then the next one, it is Chudjack. This is the one on Ethereum. Now you can see the Chud on Solana is sitting around $4.5 million in market cap. I actually want to see when this coin came out just to compare. So this coin came out in May of 24. So what did it reach? It reached around 27 million. And then the one on Ethereum, I believe just recently came out, which is, you could say it's unfortunate. Yeah, so there's the difference. I could have just looked at this. So this coin came out about 14 months ago. This one on Ethereum, which is the one I'm talking about, came out only 2 months ago. But I've seen these top memes that are on Ethereum that are at really low market caps right now. I've seen them do very well. So this coin, you can see a little bit different than the previous two I looked at. It's in a pretty long accumulation window. This is when you should be, not financial advice, buying the coins is when they're down here. So this coin's at around 50K. When it came out initially, it shot up to around 800K. So just to get back to its highs, you're looking at around an 18 to a 20x. And I think Chud is going to be a very big meme. Now, this one probably isn't going to do as well as the Solana one, because technically the Solana one is the OG. Dude, this thing is just annoying. See, I guess you can hide it, okay. It's just like the ads are, it's like a video, really. But I think this coin can do very, very well, especially if the one on Solana runs to 100, 200 million. This one, you could be looking at, even 10 million is from 50K. That's pretty crazy. So you've got to factor that in. Now, with a coin like this, can it really facilitate people becoming rich? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to have the market cap for that. But, take a similar... no, it's actually not a good comparison. But I'm just saying there's been some other Ethereum OG coins that have done very, very well. Or like really good meme coins that will start at extremely low market caps. And they'll 300, 400, 500x. So this might be an interesting play. You also do have this coin. This is Bitcoin 6900. I'm not exactly sure what the narrative is with this coin. It came out all the way back in October of 2023. You could say, well, Bitcoin 6900, it's a branch off of the stock to meme, but it's really not. I think it's something with Satoshi and like being anonymous or something like that. The signal in the noise. I'm not exactly sure. It's a community token. They just rebranded it. They might have rebranded it. They just did a CTO. The CTO reached around 600K. Now it's holding strong, and at least it has been for the past month at around 100K. Bitcoin 6900. I'm not sure of the premise of this coin. I don't own any of it. I've seen it, and I was intrigued because I was looking at all these 6900 tokens. It's an interesting one to look at. We also have another one just to pay attention to, a coin that recently kind of got CTO'd. This is Nvidia 6900. So this coin it came out back and it was just a complete, not even a pump and dump. It was just a rug pull. And so this coin went to around 400K. It was being advertised, and then the devs pulled it. And so it's been in just a crazy, I don't even know, you can't even say it's an accumulation. It's just been dead. And then recently it was revived. This coin was, I think, around like 3,000 market cap, and then it was revived to around 100K. Now it's sitting at 18K. So when it comes to Nvidia, I don't think this coin actually has a website right now because so it got a community takeover on the 9th. So about a week ago, it got a community takeover. This would be a stock to meme coin. Nvidia, I believe right now is the most valuable in terms of market cap stock there is. It's even more valuable at this, or no, it's not more valuable than Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's the most valuable asset outside of gold, or maybe I got that wrong. But I think Nvidia might be around 3 or 4 trillion in market cap. So this coin, the CTO, I think they've already abandoned it. But listen, this coin will probably get CTO'd by someone if the stock to meme narrative really picks up. And Nvidia is like the most. I mean, it's like the richest company there is. So you've got all the indexes, and then maybe Nvidia as well, and you've also got. I'm just going to go through some other ones. You've got the Donald Trump coin, so DJT 4700. This coin had a pretty crazy run to around 6 or 7 million for a short time after the election. This is a combination of Donald John Trump, which is his initials, DJT 4700, 47th president, and also the DJT stock. There is a Donald Trump media stock that's tickered DJT. And so this coin right now, it got revived a little bit to around a 6 or 700K. I think is it a new CTO on June 5th? There was a CTO takeover on June 5th. Okay. Yeah, so we'll see with this coin. I would have to look, because I used to own this coin and I sold a while ago. I'd have to look at its Telegram to see what's going on there with it. Right now it's sitting at a market cap of around 100K. I don't know if there's another Trump narrative when it comes to meme coins. If there is, this coin could potentially do well. The Trump and Elon narratives are kind of gone at this point. But Trump is still, a household name, and he's doing all this stuff in crypto. So this is an interesting one to look at. I thought this coin would do a lot better than it's done, but it's an interesting one. You also do have another coin that I owned as a trade, and I made money off of it. This coin is Stonks 9800. Oh no, this is the Solana one. Well, this Solana one's actually kept up a 100K market cap. Wow. The other one, the Ethereum one is not. The Ethereum one is at like 28K right now. But the idea with this coin is, how was this coin being pitched? 21K. Yeah, I did own this coin, and I probably bought it around here and then sold it towards the top. It was one of my better trades. Look at this coin bleed out. If this coin gets CTO'd, it's an interesting one. They say this coin gave birth to SPX 6900. Whether or not that's true, they say this thing emerged back in like, I'm trying to understand this. It was a Steam game called Stonks 9800. So look, this is one. It's like, well, the actual OG. I don't know. I mean, this coin went to around 500K. It's at 21K. Look at the accumulation. Well, it's just bleeding out right now. Well, they need a CTO for this coin. The coin is just bleeding out. I would wait for the bleeding to stop. 21K is very low in terms of market cap, though. I would imagine there's no CTO yet. Yeah. It's an interesting idea. So that's another one to look at. And then you also have XSP69. I don't even think it's actually going to, this might not even show up because I don't think, it's not even going to show up. So that coin doesn't even show up. It was like a derivative 10% of the SPX, but it's too dead at this point. So those are just some interesting ones to look at, guys. Some very low in market cap. But either way, guys, make sure you like the video down below.